There's a quiet, gnawing ache many of us know all too well. It's the feeling of knocking on a familiar door, one that once welcomed us with open arms, only to be met with silence. You know they're inside. You know they hear you. Yet, the door remains stubbornly shut. That hollow emptiness, that quiet frustration, is the echo many of us as parents feel when the very hearts we nurtured, the very souls we poured our lives into, choose indifference over connection, disrespect over reverence. This isn't merely a bruise to our pride, it's the profound pain of feeling unseen, unheard, pushed into an invisible corner of their lives. But here's a truth whispered by few, yet understood deeply by those who have walked this path. The more desperately you chase respect, the faster it seems to flee. The more fervently you plead to be seen, the more curiously invisible you become in their eyes. And if we continue to react with the familiar dance of anger, frustration, or quiet sorrow, we trap ourselves in a relentless cycle that only drains our spirit, leaving us weary, resentful, and ultimately unheard. It's a bitter pill to swallow, this realization that our emotional well-being has become so intertwined with their acknowledgement. We often believe that our love, our sacrifice, should inherently guarantee their respect. Yet in the labyrinth of human relationships, especially with adult children, this fundamental equation often goes awry, leaving us bewildered and heartbroken. Perhaps you've tried everything: explanations, heartfelt appeals, even moments of quiet despair. You've replayed conversations in your mind, searching for the moment it all shifted. You've wondered if you did something wrong, if you missed a sign, if your boundless love somehow became a burden rather than a blessing. This feeling of powerlessness, of being adrift in a sea of unreciprocated emotion, can be utterly consuming. It steals your joy, clouds your days, and leaves you questioning not only your role as a parent, but sometimes even your own inherent worth. The weight of this indifference can feel suffocating, like a heavy cloak draped over your spirit, dimming the vibrant colors of your life. It's a lonely place to be, isn't it? To stand at the precipice of your own family, feeling like an outsider looking in, yearning for a connection that seems to slip further and further away. But what if there was another way? A path to peace that doesn't depend on their actions, but on your own unwavering inner strength. Today, we are not here to wallow in the regrets of what was or the painful visions of what should have been. We are here to bravely face this profound challenge head-on, armed with the serene, timeless wisdom of the Stoics, those ancient masters who, for centuries, understood the intricate art of thriving amidst life's most turbulent storms. We will equip ourselves with the quiet, unyielding power of those who have learned to live vibrantly, profoundly, and unapologetically, without needing a single nod of approval, a single word of validation from the outside world. Throughout this transformative journey, you will discover how to reclaim your inherent dignity, not through desperate pleas, but through a quiet, magnetic strength that radiates from within. You will learn the gentle yet unyielding art of setting healthy boundaries, not as walls that separate, but as sacred lines that protect your inner peace, all without the heavy cloak of guilt that has perhaps weighed you down for too long. And most importantly, you will unlock the profound secret to making silence and unwavering calm your most potent strength, a force so subtle yet so powerful it reshapes every dynamic around you. By the time we reach the end of our conversation, I promise to reveal the one profound, undeniable lesson that can truly, fundamentally shift everything in your world. offering you a path to liberation you might not have thought possible. I'm Gabriel, and if you have ever felt that piercing sting of being overlooked, undervalued, or ignored by the very people who should cherish you most, this message, this conversation, this guiding light is unequivocally for you. This journey into Stoic wisdom is designed to fortify your mind, soothe your spirit, and help you cultivate a peace that is unshakable, a happiness that is self-sustained. If you yearn for a mind that is stronger, a spirit that is more peaceful, and a life that radiates genuine happiness, then I urge you to subscribe to the Stoic Philosophy channel right now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos that are crafted to guide you step by step towards a more resilient and serene existence. Let's embark on this transformative path together and discover the true power that lies within your own remarkable spirit. Stay with me, for your peace of mind depends on it. If your children have indeed stopped respecting you, if their once warm presence now feels distant, almost cold, let's be unflinchingly honest with ourselves. Do you truly believe that simply raising your voice louder or dramatically lamenting their indifference will magically draw them back into your arms, tears of regret shining in their eyes? It simply doesn't work that way. It never has. This isn't a scene from a Hollywood movie where a grand gesture instantly mends all wounds. Real life, and certainly real relationships, are far more nuanced, far more complex. Respect isn't a commodity that can be demanded. It's a profound echo that's inspired. It's a natural consequence of how we carry ourselves, how we interact, and how we value our own space in the world. And if you find yourself in the uncomfortable, heart-wrenching position of having to ask for it, it's often because somewhere along the winding, often unpredictable path of life, we inadvertently stopped projecting it ourselves. We might have, unknowingly, ceded our own power, blurred our own boundaries, or allowed our light to dim in the hope of illuminating theirs. That unsettling, pervasive feeling that your voice no longer carries any weight, any authority, any resonance in their world didn't materialize overnight like a sudden storm. Oh no. It's the slow, almost imperceptible accumulation of years of invisible dynamics, of words perhaps spoken at the wrong time, or more crucially, of profound silences held when you should have bravely spoken your truth. It's a tapestry woven with countless small threads, each one contributing to the current painful reality. Perhaps, in your boundless love, they grew up watching you, a tireless protector, a selfless giver, sacrificing every ounce of your being, every dream, every quiet moment, without ever asking for anything substantial in return. And perhaps, tragically, they mistook your overflowing love for an endless, unconditional availability. They saw a well that never ran dry, a door that was always open, a heart that was always ready to absorb their burdens without ever asking for respite. This kind of unconditional giving, while noble in intent, can sometimes inadvertently teach them that your needs are secondary or even non-existent. Or perhaps in a heartfelt, albeit misguided, bid to be the perfect parent, the one who avoids conflict at all costs, who always maintains harmony, you meticulously avoided difficult conversations. You let small slights slide. You overlooked casual disrespect, hoping it was just a phase, just a fleeting moment of youthful oversight. You told yourself it was better to keep the peace, to not rock the boat, to be understanding. Until one day, like a persistent vine slowly suffocating a grand tree, it became an accepted routine. And what becomes routine, so often, ceases to be truly appreciated. It simply fades into the background, a given, no longer something cherished or even truly seen. Think for a moment of a beautiful, antique wooden rocking chair that has sat in the same sun-drenched corner of a house for decades. At first, everyone used it, appreciated its comforting embrace, its gentle sway, its quiet solace. It was a beloved fixture, a center of comfort. But over the years, as it always remained there, always available, it slowly, quietly faded into the background. Always present, barely noticed. Dust might settle on its armrests, the cushions might flatten. Then, one day, the chair finally breaks, perhaps splintering under an unnoticed strain, and for a long, agonizing time, no one truly misses it. They simply step around it, or perhaps subconsciously are relieved it's gone, clearing up space. Is that not, in a painful, visceral way, how we can sometimes feel? Not because we aren't important, not because our love isn't profound, but because, without fully realizing it, we allowed ourselves to be perceived as something guaranteed, always available, always present, always forgiving, no longer needing to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be genuinely valued. This isn't about blaming. It's about seeing the intricate, often unconscious dynamics that shape our most cherished relationships. The tragedy isn't that they are inherently bad children, but that the dynamic itself has shifted. You've become, in their perception, a constant, like the sunrise or the steady beat of their own heart, always there, never needing attention or effort to maintain. This unconscious devaluation is far more painful than overt conflict, because it implies a lack of regard that cuts to the very core of your being. It's the pain of being taken for granted, of your profound contributions being reduced to an expectation. It's the deep, silent ache of giving your all, only to realize that all has become nothing in their eyes, simply because it was freely given. This isn't a reflection of your worth, but a stark illustration of a dynamic that desperately needs to change. The Stoics' path to reclaiming your dignity, a journey inward. We've squarely faced the painful truth of feeling dismissed, even disregarded, by the very people we hold dearest. We've acknowledged that chasing respect often pushes it further away, and that emotional dependence on others can become an invisible, debilitating chain. But this isn't where our story ends. This is the powerful beginning of a profound internal transformation rooted in the timeless, unwavering principles of Stoicism. In this pivotal section, we won't merely discuss changing how your children perceive you. More crucially, we'll delve into how you can fundamentally change how you perceive yourself. Stoic philosophy doesn't promise a life free of challenges or heartache. Instead, it equips you with a resilient spirit, a profound inner peace that can withstand even the most turbulent storms. It teaches us to fiercely focus on what truly lies within our control, our thoughts, our actions, our unwavering attitude, rather than squandering precious energy on what remains utterly beyond our grasp. Together, we'll explore 5 robust pillars of self-mastery and dignity. Each pillar represents a deliberate, purposeful step on the path to reclaiming your intrinsic worth, from transforming your actions into your most potent voice to liberating yourself from the shackles of expectation, from converting silence into a powerful strategic tool, to finally breaking free from the lingering chains of guilt and mastering the assertive power of no. Each segment will swing open a door to your profound inner freedom, helping you forge a life that is not only deeply meaningful, but also powerfully inspiring. These aren't just empty platitudes or abstract theories. These are practical, time-tested tools forged from ancient wisdom that have empowered countless individuals to discover serenity and strength even in the most trying circumstances. Our quest is not for vengeance, but for profound recovery, not for anger, but for unshakable tranquility, not for dependency, but for radical self-sufficiency. Prepare yourself to embrace change, to reevaluate long-held beliefs, and to welcome a stronger, more peaceful, and authentically happier version of yourself. Because when you genuinely change, the world around you will inevitably begin to change in response. Part 1. The silent power of action. When respect isn't demanded, it's inspired. Marcus Aurelius, that revered emperor-philosopher, once thoughtfully penned a timeless truth in his personal meditations. Respect is not negotiated with words, but with actions. This isn't merely a profound statement. It's a vital compass for anyone feeling overlooked, even dismissed, by those closest to them. If you truly yearn to reclaim your rightful place in their lives, if you deeply wish for them to see you with the same quiet reverence they afford to those they genuinely value, then you must cease acting like a passive presence, a fading shadow. Instead, begin to move through your life with the unwavering confidence of someone who intrinsically knows their profound worth. This doesn't mean becoming cold, aloof, or emotionally distant. It means mastering the delicate yet powerful art of strategic presence. Imagine a truly captivating painting. It doesn't scream for attention. Its allure lies in its composition, its deliberate strokes, its perfectly placed colors. Similarly, when you choose to speak, let your words be few, yet let them carry the weight of solid granite. Each word should be a jewel, carefully chosen, imbued with resolve and crystal-clear meaning. Don't over-explain, don't over-justify, don't plead. Allow your conciseness to create a space for reflection, for true listening. And when they do seek you out, let it be because they have something genuine they wish to offer, to share, rather than merely something they want to ask for. Cultivate a subtle yet profound balance where the relationship isn't solely one-sided, isn't a continuous outflow from you to them. When that familiar, aching urge to demand respect swells within you, gently but firmly remind yourself, true respect blossoms when the other person fears losing you, not when they believe they can simply ignore you without a single consequence. This isn't a cruel power play. It's a deep understanding of human psychology. We often only truly appreciate what we stand to lose. Don't deceive yourself. If they are currently treating you with indifference, it's because, at some deep, perhaps unconscious level, they've decided they don't need to pay attention to you. They perceive you as a constant, like the air they breathe or the sun that rises each morning, always there, requiring no effort to maintain. But here lies the quiet revolution. You, my friend, do not need their validation to live a life brimming with dignity. Recall the image of that old, cherished rocking chair, perhaps left unnoticed in a quiet corner of the house. It was once a hub of comfort, a silent listener to countless stories, but then it faded, became taken for granted. One day, It breaks, perhaps silently splintering under an unacknowledged strain, and for a long, agonizing time, no one truly misses it. They simply step around it, or perhaps, subconsciously, even feel a tiny bit of relief that it's gone, making more space. But must that chair remain forever broken and forgotten? Absolutely not. That broken, overlooked rocking chair can be transformed. It can become a sturdy table for new beginnings, kindling for a vibrant new fire, or a lovingly restored piece with even more character, holding new, joyful stories. You are not bound by the limited, perhaps outdated way they currently perceive you. You possess the inherent power to fundamentally shift this entire dynamic, but only if you are truly willing to change the lens through which you see yourself. This transformation is an internal alchemy. It commences with the profound realization that your value is not defined by the attention or approval of others. Your value is intrinsic, an eternal flame that burns brightly within you, needing no external breath to ignite or extinguish it. When you begin to act from this place of unwavering self-reverence, when you cease desperately seeking external validation, you will automatically radiate a different kind of energy. An energy of quiet confidence, of profound inner peace, of undeniable independence. And this energy, like a powerful magnet, will naturally draw towards you what you truly desire, not by demanding, but by inspiring. Consider a master gardener. He doesn't beg his flowers to bloom. He doesn't scold them for not stretching towards the sun. Instead, he meticulously nurtures the soil, provides ample water, ensures they receive abundant light. He creates an environment where the flowers want to bloom, want to display their vibrant beauty. Similarly, you cannot force respect to bloom. You must cultivate an internal environment in which respect naturally flourishes. That environment is you, a person of unwavering self-respect, self-mastery, and profound inner calm. This journey demands immense patience. It requires the courage to sit with the initial discomfort that arises when you begin to alter your patterns of interaction. They might be confused, they might even test your newfound resolve. But always remember, your consistency and quiet dignity are your most potent messages. When you no longer react explosively, when you no longer chase frantically, when you maintain your serene composure, you are sending a crystal clear signal. I am worthy. I do not need your validation to know that. And when that signal is sent consistently, authentically, it will begin to transform not only how they perceive you, but more profoundly, how they perceive the very nature of your relationship. This is not a manipulative game. This is an act of profound self-preservation, an act of radical self-love. It is the deep realization that you are inherently worthy of being treated with respect, and that you possess the undeniable right to cultivate a life where that respect is a natural given rather than a favor to be begged for. As you begin to live in this new, empowered way, you will witness not only a transformation in your relationships with your children, but also a strengthening of the most vital relationship of all, the one with yourself. You will discover an inner peace, a rock-solid confidence that is truly unshakable, unburdened by the fleeting opinions of anyone else. And this is the profound whisper of a new beginning, a beginning brimming with quiet, undeniable power. Part 2. Breaking the chains of expectation. Reclaiming your emotional sovereignty. Now that you've grasped the profound truth that respect isn't demanded but inspired, it's time to confront an even more liberating reality. You are still, perhaps unknowingly, expecting too much from them. What's truly wearing you down, day after relentless day, isn't just their occasional indifference. It's the suffocating weight of emotional dependence that keeps you inextricably tied to their choices, their unpredictable timing, their often casual way of treating you. If they ignore you, if your phone rarely lights up with their name, if their words feel clipped and cold, then why, I implore you, are you still granting them the immense, almost tyrannical power to dictate your own emotional landscape? This is the second, absolutely crucial key to your liberation: relinquishing emotional dependence. You may not even consciously recognize it, but every single time you anxiously wait for a message that never arrives, every time your heart soars with anticipation for a visit that gets abruptly cancelled, or every time you feel that familiar, sharp pang of hurt when you're excluded, you become a silent prisoner to their whims. Your mood becomes a fragile kite, soaring with hope one moment, then plummeting into despair the next, based solely on the fickle winds of their attention. This, my dear friend, is a subtle yet deeply insidious form of emotional slavery you've unknowingly permitted within your own being. Epictetus, another profound Stoic sage, articulated it with chilling clarity. Don't suffer over what isn't up to you. And herein lies the profound heart of the matter. You have unwittingly made your profound well-being contingent upon something utterly, completely beyond your control. Your children are adults. They navigate their own complex lives, grapple with their own swirling priorities, and battle their own silent demons. They will not fundamentally change their deeply ingrained patterns simply because you desperately wish them to, or even because you gently ask them to. And even if they did, even if they promised today to call more often or be more affectionate, the profound question remains: do you truly desire your happiness to be a fragile leaf, tossed and turned by the shifting breezes of their willingness? For if respect cannot be demanded, then neither can genuine love be begged for. The most poignant, even heartbreaking irony in all of this is what happens when you overtly expect too much from them. You inadvertently appear smaller, more needy in their eyes. A parent who is perpetually wounded by their children's indifference, who constantly laments the scarcity of messages, who suffers silently because visits are too few, slowly, subtly ceases to be perceived as strong, capable, and eminently respectable. Instead, they risk becoming viewed as needy, as someone to be dealt with out of a sense of obligation rather than genuine, heartfelt desire. Have you ever seriously considered the possibility that their increasing distance might also be an unconscious reaction to the invisible pressure they sense when they're around you? No one truly enjoys feeling solely responsible for another person's happiness. And without ever intending to, you may have inadvertently handed them that immense, often suffocating burden. Emotional freedom isn't about severing ties with your children or becoming cold and unfeeling. It's about a majestic act of reclaiming your own intrinsic inner strength. It means that if they call, you are genuinely delighted, a pleasant bonus. But if they don't, your day remains vibrant, your spirit unbroken, your internal compass still pointing towards joy. It means your life, a rich and vibrant tapestry, continues to unfurl, to expand, with or without their explicit attention or participation. And when you finally arrive at that profound place, when they witness that you genuinely do not need them to be whole, to be okay, that is precisely when they will begin to seek you out differently. Because true respect and deep admiration are born from balance, from sovereignty, not from a place of desperate, aching need. Imagine yourself adrift in the boundless, indifferent ocean. For years, the only thing you clung to was the perceived life raft of your relationship with your children. Every time they drifted away, you felt the terror of drowning, a terrifying sense of loss. But what if you suddenly, miraculously, realized you possess the innate ability to swim robustly on your own? That the vast open water around you isn't a punishment, but a liberating, boundless canvas. That you don't need that external raft to stay afloat, to survive, to thrive. It is in that precise, transformative moment when you release your desperate grip, when you begin to move through the waters with effortless grace and strength, that even the raft itself, drawn by an unseen current of attraction, begins to drift back towards you. What you need now isn't to continue waiting by a silent phone or gazing out a window, longing. It's to learn, with deliberate intention and courageous effort, how to construct a life so rich, so full, so compelling that it doesn't need them to fill its voids. There is an entire universe of joy, purpose, and profound fulfillment beyond that familiar dependence. But you will only perceive its boundless horizons when you release the deeply ingrained idea that your ultimate well-being is contingent upon what they do, or tragically, don't do. And that, my friend, leads us to the next uncomfortable yet absolutely essential truth. Part 3. The art of Stoic silence. When your absence becomes your strongest presence. If you've absorbed the foundational lesson that respect isn't demanded, but powerfully inspired, and that the most insidious trap you can fall into is emotional dependence, then you're already standing on incredibly solid ground. Because truly, profoundly, no one genuinely respects what they perceive as weak, needy, or lacking. Now we arrive at the third, utterly transformative point in our journey, and this is where the tectonic plates of your personal reality truly begin to shift. Silence and strategy. The Stoics' resolute response to indifference. Look around us deeply. We inhabit a world that clamors incessantly for immediate reactions, where emotions spill over at the slightest provocation, where the ancient, dignified art of profound silence seems to be tragically lost. Every news feed, every social media interaction, every family drama often demands an instantaneous emotional outburst. But the Stoics, those profound observers of the human condition, understood something most people never truly grasp. Silence isn't passivity. It is, in its purest, most powerful form, a deliberate, calculated tactic. It is a strategic pause that commands attention. When someone ignores you, when you feel that piercing sensation of being diminished, of not occupying the place you so rightfully deserve, the absolute worst thing you can do is react from a place of desperate need, complaining, demanding, frantically chasing their fleeting attention like a weary beggar asking for a coin. These actions, tragically, only serve to reinforce their perceived power over you. They inadvertently communicate, "My peace depends on your acknowledgement." What you must do instead is precisely the opposite. Become someone utterly, completely impossible to ignore. Not because of the noise you make, not because of the drama you create, but because of the profound, unshakable calm with which you gracefully hold your sacred space. Consider this fundamental psychological truth. When someone deliberately ignores you, and you immediately scramble for their attention. You unwittingly hand them the reins of control, the invisible power switch. But if, instead, you respond with a strategic, almost serene indifference, not coldness, but a quiet, self-possessed detachment, something subtle yet profoundly unsettling begins to stir within their own mind. Human nature is deceptively simple, almost primal. We tend to take for granted what is always there, always available, always present, and we become utterly captivated, even obsessed, with what suddenly becomes scarce, what suddenly becomes elusive. If you cease to react emotionally, if you stop chasing frantically, if you project an unwavering, quiet calm, sooner or later they will inevitably begin to wonder why. And when that tiny seed of curiosity, that nagging question takes root, the entire dynamic of control in the situation has, without a single word being exchanged, decisively shifted. Picture, if you will, a powerful king upon his majestic throne. For years, he is accustomed to everyone bowing before him, vying for his favor, desperately needing his powerful presence. But then, one ordinary day, someone who was always meticulously at his service simply stops showing up. They offer no insult, no challenge, no drama, no explanation. They simply, quietly, walk away with an air of profound dignity, tending to their own flourishing garden. For the very first time, the king feels an unfamiliar, unsettling absence. He begins to wonder what has transpired, why this person is no longer offering their customary attention. And suddenly, the one who held all the power, the one who was accustomed to being the center of every universe, finds himself unsettlingly unsettled. That, my friends, is the subtle yet profoundly effective psychology of detachment at work. It's crucial to understand. This isn't about punishing anyone or playing manipulative, childish games. It's about becoming so deeply anchored in your own inherent presence, so utterly complete within yourself, that your absence becomes a palpable, undeniable force. Your quiet, dignified removal creates a void that cannot be filled by casual apologies or fleeting gestures. But, and this is a crucial caveat, this profound strategy works only if it is genuinely real. If you merely pretend to be detached while secretly clinging to the fervent, desperate hope they'll call, the fragile truth will eventually seep through, undermining your efforts. You must truly believe it. You must reach a point where your profound peace doesn't depend on their messages, where you can genuinely savor your day, pursue your passions, and engage with the world without a single thought of whether they remembered you. Not to wound them, but to liberate your own magnificent mind from a burdensome chain that has held you captive for years. Think of it like a grand, ancient tree. It doesn't scream for attention from the forest. Its presence is simply undeniable, a testament to its long, resilient growth. Its deep roots, its sturdy trunk, its canopy reaching for the sun. These are its actions, its quiet statements of being. Similarly, your unwavering calm, your focused pursuits, your joyful self-sufficiency are your actions. They speak louder than any words of complaint or demand. This approach requires tremendous self-mastery, a core tenet of Stoicism. It demands that you exercise your prohairesis, your faculty of choice, with unwavering discipline. You cannot control their actions, their indifference, or their choices. But you absolutely, fundamentally, control your reaction to them. When you choose to react with dignity, with self-possession, with serene calm, you are exercising your highest power. And as you consistently do so, you not only change the dynamic of the relationship, but more importantly, you fundamentally transform yourself. You become stronger, more resilient, and more deeply at peace than you ever thought possible. This is true liberation, a profound return to your authentic self, where peace is not a fleeting condition, but an unshakable state of being. Part 4. Liberating your spirit, breaking free from the shackles of guilt. If you've grasped the profound power of strategic silence and the invaluable lesson that respect is inspired, you've already taken a monumental stride. You've begun the powerful shift from reacting like a victim to reclaiming your intrinsic power. But all of this, sadly, will ultimately amount to very little if you remain ensnared in the most cunning, insidious prison of all: guilt. We now arrive at the fourth pivotal point of this crucial conversation, and it's time to speak candidly about something that has kept you silently chained, perhaps for decades, without your full awareness. Breaking free from the guilt that holds you back. It's a persistent, nagging whisper you've carried deep within you for years, a shadow that clings to every decision you make, every new path you consider. Perhaps I was too harsh on them when they were little, the voice murmurs insidiously. Maybe I didn't give them enough of my time, my resources. What if I pulled away at the wrong moment? What if, somehow, it's truly my fault? They ignore me now. Guilt, my dear friends, is a silent, insidious disease. It often cunningly disguises itself as profound responsibility, as boundless love, even as a highly sensitive conscience. But in its cruel, debilitating reality, guilt is nothing more than a powerful mechanism of control, a heavy, dragging anchor that relentlessly prevents you from courageously moving forward. From our earliest days, from the very fabric of societal expectations, many of us were taught that being a good parent meant sacrificing endlessly, giving everything without the slightest expectation of return, enduring any treatment, however painful or unjust, all in the sacred, often weaponized name of love. But here lies the profound, often overlooked flaw. This message, which sounds so noble, so virtuous in theory, tragically becomes a suffocating, binding chain in practice. It subtly convinces you that any act of independence on your part is an act of abandonment, that if you dare to assert your worth and demand respect, you are being selfish, that if you choose to distance yourself for your own well-being, you are somehow the villain of your own family story. And so you remain. You tolerate the disrespect, the chilling coldness, the dismissive attitude, endlessly justifying it with soft, self-sacrificing phrases like, "Well, they have their own lives now, it's understandable," or "Maybe I brought this upon myself, I should be more understanding." But guilt possesses an even more devastating, insidious effect. It renders you exquisitely vulnerable to manipulation. Your children, perhaps entirely without conscious malice or intent, may have subtly, instinctively learned to wield it against you. A quiet, offhand comment about how little you did for them, subtly implying a debt. A distorted, lingering memory of a mistake you made decades ago, brought up at just the right moment. A subtle look of reproach, a sigh of resignation when you attempt to articulate a boundary, and instantly, tragically, you surrender. Guilt is a tool of immense power, because whoever controls it, consciously or unconsciously, controls the person who feels it. And as long as you carry its immense, crushing weight, you will perpetually remain trapped in a relationship where you are always, agonizingly, at an inherent disadvantage. But here is the profound, liberating truth you desperately need to hear, to absorb into your very being. Perfect parenting does not exist. There is no father, no mother, no guardian who has never, ever made a single mistake. Every single one of us did the very best we could with the limited resources, the imperfect understanding, and the personal struggles we possessed at the time. And your children, if they have indeed matured into emotionally intelligent adults, should possess the capacity to understand that fundamental truth. If they are adults now and still choose to dwell on your past mistakes without acknowledging your tireless efforts, your unwavering love, or your profound sacrifices, then the problem, my dear friend, is unequivocally not yours. It is undeniably theirs. And you must not spend the precious remainder of your life carrying a burden of guilt that no longer truly belongs to you. Seneca, another great Stoic, observed with piercing wisdom, "We are more often tortured by our imagination than by reality." And this is the golden key, the ultimate unlock to setting yourself truly free. Stop measuring your magnificent life by the often harsh, uninformed judgment of those who have never walked a single step in your well-worn shoes. Look at yourself honestly, with compassionate, understanding eyes. Were you a perfect parent? No, for none are. Did you try your absolute best, pouring your heart and soul into it? Probably, yes. Do you possess the undeniable right to move forward, to flourish, without dragging the unchangeable past behind you like a heavy chain? Absolutely, unequivocally yes. Guilt isn't love. Guilt isn't true, healthy responsibility. Guilt is simply a heavy, rusting anchor that relentlessly prevents you from living a life brimming with the dignity, the joy, and the freedom you so profoundly deserve. If you truly wish to discover peace again, if you yearn to feel like the confident, empowered owner of your own magnificent life, you must, with every ounce of your strength, let it go. Release it. Leave it behind you like a seasoned traveler shedding unnecessary weight on a long, arduous journey. Because if you do not, you will continue to allow others to dictate how you should feel, you will continue to justify the unjustifiable, and you will continue to live in the lingering, suffocating shadow of a past that can no longer be rewritten. And when you finally, truly let go, when you understand that you deserve respect without having to atone for old, long-paid debts, there is an inevitable, liberating next step. Part 5. The unyielding power of no. Setting boundaries, reclaiming self-worth. If you remain trapped by the invisible, insidious chains of guilt, you will, tragically, never be able to establish meaningful, healthy boundaries. And without those firm yet loving boundaries, true reciprocal respect simply isn't possible. We've arrived at the fifth, absolutely crucial juncture of this journey, and it's time to speak about something most people are far too terrified to even whisper, let alone enact. Learning to say no without fear. For years, you have been yielding. You have uttered yes when every fiber of your being screamed no. You've lent money knowing deep down it would likely never be repaid. You've tirelessly cared for grandchildren, pushing your own physical limits when your very body was begging for a quiet moment of rest. You've answered phone calls that were solely for favors, for requests, never for a genuine inquiry into your well-being, your day, your life. And you have done all of this clinging to the quiet, desperate hope of being appreciated, hoping that one day your boundless sacrifice would finally be seen, acknowledged, and valued. But here you are, feeling ignored, feeling utterly drained, with the bitter, sharp realization that instead of cultivating a vibrant, reciprocal love, what you've inadvertently nurtured is a deeply ingrained, almost parasitic dependency. Every single time you say yes out of a silent, gnawing fear of losing them, you unconsciously reinforce the insidious idea that your time, your energy, your very essence doesn't truly matter. You teach them, without ever meaning to, that they can count on you, no matter how they choose to treat you. That your love is indeed endless, yes, but also utterly, limitlessly unconditional, even to the painful, self-destructive point of abuse. And here, my friends, is the uncomfortable yet profoundly liberating truth. Love without boundaries isn't love. It's a form of submission, a quiet surrender of your own self. A parent who never draws a clear, unyielding line isn't wise. They have simply, tragically, forgotten their own profound, intrinsic worth. Marcus Aurelius, with his characteristic profound wisdom, observed, "True strength lies not in enduring everything, but in knowing when to say no." And here is the piercing question you must bravely ask yourself, perhaps for the very first time. How many times have you said yes when everything inside you, every cell, every instinct was screaming, "Enough"? How many times have you felt undeniably used, manipulated, or taken advantage of, yet remained stubbornly silent to avoid conflict, to preserve a fragile, superficial peace, to cling to a dwindling connection? This isn't about severing ties or becoming cold and unfeeling. This is about a majestic, courageous act of reclaiming your very dignity, saying no when something doesn't serve your highest good, when it depletes you, when it disrespects you, isn't rejection. It is, in its purest, most powerful form, self-respect. Consider a mighty, ancient tree. When it is strong, its roots are deeply, firmly anchored in the earth. It does not bend and sway weakly with every fleeting gust of wind. But if a tree habitually bends with every single breeze, if it has no internal strength, it eventually becomes warped, misshapen, utterly unable to support its own magnificent weight. Is that not, in a painful, visceral metaphor, how you have existed for years? Bending, ceaselessly bending, to please, to keep a fragile peace, to desperately hold on to the last fleeting bit of connection you have with them. But in doing so, you slowly lost your inherent shape. You lost your sacred center. And worst of all, instead of drawing them closer, that perceived weakness, that constant yielding, only served to push them further away. Because, simply put, no one truly respects what breaks too easily, what bends too readily. Now, imagine a profoundly different scenario. Picture vividly what would happen if the very next time they asked you for something you genuinely didn't want to do or simply couldn't do, you simply replied with unshakable calm, a serene firmness, "No, not this time." No elaborate excuses, no lengthy guilt-ridden explanations, no justifications whatsoever. Just no. Perhaps they will be stunned at first. Perhaps they will try to push back, to guilt-trip you, to manipulate your emotions. But if you remain unyielding, if you demonstrate with quiet, confident resolve that your decision is non-negotiable, something profound will begin to shift in how they perceive you. They will begin to see someone who profoundly values themselves, someone who does not have to constantly give in, to sacrifice their own needs, to feel worthy of love. And that, my friends, is where true, unforced, authentic respect truly begins to bloom. Do not expect this transformative change to happen overnight. It is a slow, deliberate process, like strengthening a muscle that has been dormant, atrophied for years. And the muscle of saying no has indeed been slumbering within you for far too long. At first, you will feel profoundly uncomfortable. You will doubt your resolve. You will be tempted fiercely to give in again, to revert to old patterns. But every single time you courageously set a boundary, clearly and without the crushing weight of guilt, you will reclaim a vital part of yourself you thought was forever lost. And when they finally realize they can no longer manipulate you with the phantom of guilt, that they can no longer keep taking without offering something genuine in return, they will be utterly compelled to reconsider how they treat you. Respect isn't requested, it's profoundly inspired. Emotional independence isn't something you passively wait for, it's something you actively, courageously build. And boundaries aren't cold walls that shut people out. They are sacred doors that fiercely protect what truly deeply matters: your peace, your dignity, your very soul. If you truly wish to cease feeling invisible in their lives, you must first begin to see yourself with the profound worth you've always possessed. Because when you truly, genuinely respect yourself, the world, in its inevitable wisdom, has no other choice but to do precisely the same. And that, my friends, leads us to the grand, inevitable shift. The unveiling, when your inner castle stands unconquered. We have journeyed through the desolate landscapes of misunderstanding and the thorny thickets of expectation. We've built the foundations of self-respect with action, disarmed the chains of emotional dependence, embraced the potent silence, and courageously shed the suffocating cloak of guilt. Now we arrive at the very heart of our transformation, the pivotal moment of revelation where all these threads converge into a singular, undeniable truth. This is the climax, the undeniable key moment, where the true, unshakable power of Stoicism within you is finally unveiled. For years, perhaps even decades, you've been living as if your profound inner peace, your very sense of self-worth, was merely a fragile reflection in the shifting, often murky waters of their approval. Every text not received, every call unheard, every casual dismissal felt like a direct assault on your soul, chipping away at your sense of belonging, your sense of being loved. You existed, in essence, as a perpetual plaintiff in a court where the verdict was always agonizingly withheld. And why? Because you were, unknowingly, handing them the gavel. You were giving them the ultimate power, the emotional key to your very well-being. But here is the profound, liberating truth that will fundamentally alter your reality. Their actions, their choices, their perceived indifference are not a verdict on your worth. They are purely and simply a reflection of their own internal landscape, their own struggles, their own limitations. You, my friend, have always been and always will be worthy of respect, love, and profound happiness, entirely independent of their fluctuating attention. The moment you truly, deeply, viscerally internalize this, when you understand that their external behavior is a symptom of their world, not a judgment on yours, the entire dynamic of suffering collapses. Imagine for a moment an ancient, magnificent castle. For generations, its inhabitants believed that its strength lay in its gates, its drawbridges, its ability to withstand external sieges. They spent their lives constantly reinforcing the outer walls, obsessing over every potential breach, every perceived threat from the outside. But then, a wise elder revealed a hidden truth. The castle's true, unconquerable strength resided not in its physical defenses, but in the unwavering resilience of its inner keep, the self-sustaining wellspring of courage and peace deep within its core. It was the knowledge that no matter what happened outside, the heart of the castle, the spirit of its inhabitants, remained intact, inviolable, self-sufficient. This is your climax. This is your key moment. It is the moment you choose to retreat from the battlefield of external validation and fortify your inner castle. It's when you realize that chasing their approval is like trying to catch mist with your bare hands, an endless, frustrating, and ultimately futile endeavor. Instead, you turn inward. You recognize that you hold the undisputed right to grant yourself peace, to bestow upon yourself dignity, to cultivate a profound happiness that is utterly unreliant on their whims or their acknowledgements. This doesn't mean you stop loving them, far from it. It means your love transforms. It becomes purer, stronger, less conditional, because it no longer stems from a place of desperate need or unspoken demand. You love them not because you need their approval to feel whole, but because love is an inherent powerful capacity within you. You love them as the Stoics would, by recognizing what is within your control, your love, your actions, your peace, and releasing what is not, their response. The very moment you make this profound internal shift, the moment you decide that your peace is non-negotiable and independent of their actions, is the moment you begin to radiate a different kind of energy. It is an energy of serenity, of self-possession, of a quiet, undeniable strength. You stop begging for crumbs of attention and start living a life that is so full, so authentically joyful, that your mere presence becomes a question mark in their lives. They will begin to wonder, subtly, unconsciously, why you are no longer suffering, why you seem so content without their validation. And in that silent questioning, the seeds of genuine respect, for the first time, truly begin to sprout. This is not a theoretical exercise. This is a practical, life-altering decision. It is the conscious, courageous choice to stop being a victim of circumstance and to become the deliberate architect of your own inner landscape. It is the moment you reclaim your sovereign power, your inherent worth, and step fully into the quiet, unshakable dignity that has always been your birthright. Conclusion: the unfolding of your true self. We have traveled a remarkable path together, haven't we? From the initial raw sting of feeling unheard and disrespected, we've systematically dismantled the very mechanisms that perpetuated that pain. We began by understanding that respect is not a demand, it is a profound echo inspired by our actions. You learned that true influence comes not from desperate pleas, but from carrying yourself with an unwavering sense of your own intrinsic value, moving through the world with deliberate, quiet dignity. Your actions, few and deliberate, become your most potent voice. Then we courageously tackled the most insidious of chains, emotional dependence. You embraced the Stoic truth that your profound happiness and inner peace are not, and should never be, contingent upon the fluctuating attention or approval of your adult children. You began the vital work of reclaiming your emotional sovereignty, recognizing that their external behavior is a reflection of their own internal landscape, not a judgment on your inherent worth. This realization truly absorbed, is the ultimate liberator. From there, we ventured into the powerful, often misunderstood realm of Stoic silence. You discovered that silence is not passivity, but a potent, strategic tool. By refusing to react from a place of need, by allowing your dignified composure to create a void, you subtly yet powerfully shifted the dynamic. Your absence became your strongest presence, forcing them, on some unconscious level, to truly feel your worth. And finally, we confronted the suffocating burden of guilt, unraveling its subtle manipulation and understanding that it is a control mechanism, not an expression of love. You began the profound work of self-forgiveness, recognizing that you are worthy of respect and peace, untethered from past imperfections or fabricated obligations. This shedding of guilt empowers you to stand firm. And standing firm, you bravely learned the unyielding yet loving power of no. Not a no born of anger, but a no born of self-respect, a boundary that protects your peace and teaches others how to truly value you. What you have gained throughout this journey isn't a set of manipulative tactics, but a profound internal compass. You have begun the arduous yet immensely rewarding work of building an inner castle, a fortress of serenity and self-worth that stands unconquered, impenetrable by external indifference. You are no longer waiting for validation from the outside world, you are generating it from within. This transformation is not just about your relationships with your children. It is about your entire relationship with life itself. You are reclaiming your power, not to control others, but to master yourself. You are choosing peace over pandemonium, dignity over desperation, and self-possession over perpetual people-pleasing. This journey of Stoic wisdom illuminates a path to a stronger mind, a more peaceful spirit, and a happiness that is truly, profoundly your own. It is the journey back to your most authentic, most resilient self. As we bring this profound conversation to a close, remember the journey we've embarked on today isn't just about understanding Stoicism. It's about embodying its timeless wisdom in your daily life. The insights we've explored about respect, emotional independence, strategic silence, shedding guilt, and setting boundaries are not just theories. They are powerful tools for reclaiming your peace, your dignity, and your happiness. This is just one crucial step on a much larger path toward inner mastery. If today's discussion resonated deeply within you, if you felt a flicker of recognition for your own struggles and a surge of hope for a more serene future, then I wholeheartedly encourage you to continue this transformative journey with us. Your path to profound resilience and lasting tranquility is unfolding, and the Stoic Philosophy YouTube channel is here to guide you every step of the way. We delve into these life-altering principles, offering practical wisdom and actionable insights to help you navigate life's challenges with unwavering calm and purpose. Don't let this newfound understanding fade. Click here to watch more videos that will empower you to build a stronger mind, cultivate deeper inner peace, and embrace a life of authentic joy. And to ensure you never miss another crucial lesson, another guiding light on your journey, please take a moment right now to subscribe to the Stoic Philosophy channel and turn on notifications. Your future, more peaceful self will thank you for it. Thank you for dedicating your valuable time to this exploration of self-mastery. Your willingness to look inward and seek growth is truly commendable. May you walk forward with renewed strength, unwavering courage, and an abundance of peace in your heart. Until next time, Be well, and may your journey be filled with profound serenity.
Thank you for watching this video here on the Stoic philosophy. If you found value in this, I invite you to explore more videos on the channel. There's so much more wisdom to uncover. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next one. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.